I dress like this for my male fans, by the way. These don't fit me either, just so you know. These are the goal. These are my mom's. None of the stuff that you see me wearing, no, some of it that I bought when I got my money, but, you know, a lot of this, the little tiny stuff is what my mom used to fit into. These don't fit me, but they are the goal to fit me. It doesn't mean I would even wear them, but they're the goal. They don't fit me, but, you know, I'm not sitting down in them. Okay, let's see. What more do I want to say? I always have something to say, don't I? Yes. Think about what I'm going to say. I don't plan these videos, and that's why sometimes I don't have the right words or the right sentence structures, or, you know, I repeat myself. But I just plan the theme. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say until I say it, and that's why people like me, because I'm not planning anything. I just think about stuff. And visiting with my black shelter friend, of course, sparked me into thinking about more stuff. Anyway. Personal ads, online, whatever, all that crap. I've been doing that off and on. Obviously not on when I was in relationships. Off and on for like 20 years. Now, what I would say in any of those things is I'm neither looking for a relationship nor a fling. I'm neither looking for a relationship nor looking for a fling. I'm looking for something completely in between the two. Yes, but there's a qualifier. I only want it from now on. And my partnership black shelter friends on the same wavelength as me. So we might be different in a lot of ways, because she has so much fucking confidence and won't take shit from anybody, and I have no confidence, real confidence to speak of, and let everyone walk all over me. And I've been doing that my entire life. She apparently in the past had done that a bit, and then she's did a bout face, and you know, we're around the same age now, and she's like, you can do it too, well, maybe not, but I can, you know, learn. I can learn from you. I don't want to be quite as callous as you may or may not be, but I can learn from you to at least keep my own empathy and sympathy and whatnot, and, you know, and still and try to learn to be a little more fucking and callous, and, you know, and now we're going to talk about what I'm talking about. I only want to be with a guy who fucking makes me hot, who knows how to push my buttons. It's not worth it, you know? It's not worth it. I don't want vanilla anymore, and I want to be with a guy who I am hot for, I am attracted to, who knows how to push my buttons, and who I'm also hot for, okay? No more of this fucking shit. I'm done with it, you know? Unfortunately, when I talk about having to learn from her, because I haven't had, you know, a real, before I was in the shelter, but I haven't had a real, before then, a real female friend, because you can only be friends with certain females, you know, a lot of women just can't be friends with other women because they're jealous, or they're catty, or they're this, or they're that, you know. Me and this woman, we click, we mesh, we whatever. Even though we're different, we have a lot of things the same, too. It's just she's reached the point where she doesn't give a fuck in real life, and just doesn't take any shit, doesn't care who hears her talking out loud, whatever, and I'm not really at that point. I'm the type where I can be all this out of the videos, and then in real life I'm like this meek little, but I'm learning from her anyway. I want to be with a guy who I'm hot for, and he's hot for me. No vanilla, no, I want passion, and I don't I'm not settling because I don't care anymore. You understand? I don't care. I don't want to be with a guy just for the sake of being with a guy. Now, onto the personal things. Unfortunately, I still have it in me, and it's actually a good quality. It's not a bad quality. It's the same quality that's going to cause me, I will never fucking knowledgeably be with somebody who is taken, who's married, who's whatnot. You think those kind of guys don't contact you either secretly or not out on these dating websites? Take your pick of them. There's so many now. They do, okay? That's my purity, okay? It doesn't mean I'm a pure person. I'm fucking filled with anger and rage, okay? I am not a pure person. But when it comes to that, I have certain things, and I just will not be with somebody who I know is gonna fuck me and then go home. And I'm not into a relationship, and some people, I won't say who, it doesn't really matter, but if you're not into a relationship, then you might not care if the person is married or not, because you're not looking for a relationship. You're looking, to be taken care of, for a sugar daddy to be someone's pet and taken care of in exchange. I'm not looking for a relationship. So when I put that in these personal ads, men are some are going to think, well, she's not looking for a relationship. She's the type who's not going to care if I'm, yeah, I actually do. It's just my thing. It doesn't make me the best person in the world, believe me. It's just my thing. It's some pure little part of me that I just will not do that, period. Not knowledgeably, anyway. You can trick me. Unfortunately, I can be tricked. I'm human, and I'm not so suave that I can't be tricked, But then it's not my fault if you trick me. If I find out you tricked me, I'll end it immediately. So that's what I want. I'm not apologizing for that. Unfortunately, when I get into the situation, I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Unfortunately, this dating website stuff, you just don't know. And I'm sorry, but people can post the most flattering pictures. They can send the most flattering pictures of themselves. They can make it like the picture from 10. They do it. I was talking to my shelter friend. She's experienced it. I've experienced it. They lie. They outright lie about what they look like. And then you meet them, and you have to be able to, or, like she said, there could be a guy, I'm totally hot for Laura, he's so attractive, and his picture's real, whatever, but then he does something that I don't want anything to do with him, right? And then what do? You end it. Or else you're stuck. A lot of times somebody likes you more than you like them. It's hard, and you have to be more callous. It's a little different than meeting someone at a bar, because you already know I'm attracted to you or not, or not. Online, you don't. I'm sorry. You just don't. Just because I'm being totally honest and uploading pictures with my lovely little digital camera that I took, pictures that I took yesterday, recently, or last week, doesn't mean everyone is. Okay? And my love dog, she didn't even make her own website, and her fucking sister or cousin or whatever posted a picture of her from her college, or from her high school graduation, like 20-something years ago, That's not real. That's not right. You shouldn't do shit like that, but people do. And then I'm talking to my friend, I'm like, well, then what happens when you meet them and they know they've lied about what they look like? And she's like, yeah, and she has the ability, she can play along, because they've already lied to her. And I would just be like, oh my God, this guy looks nothing like his fucking picture. This is ridiculous. I'd be pissed, and I'd feel uncomfortable. And so I'm not at that level, That's why I don't even think I can even do this right now, because you have to be at that level where you have to be callous. You cannot just be, or you're going to be stuck dating someone or whatever, or being with somebody you don't want to be with at all. And that's the maturity that I lack. But, in this abusive relationship or something. So anyway, but yeah, fuck it. I don't screw anyone I don't want to screw. Seriously, I don't. Even if someone says they can help me, I don't screw anyone I don't want to screw. And I don't care. 15, so in my late 20s, whatever. I was meeting with fucking collaborators. You know, I had ads out. Lyricists looking for a collaborator on songs, whatever. 99.9% were men who contacted me. You think they really even were? No, they were wondering what I looked like. They some of them were so not even talented and not even, but so what? Forget about that. They all wanted to get in my pants. I looked like this, only better. It was when I was in my late 20s, and now I'm in my mid 40s, so I look like this, but better. And they all wanted to get in my pants. They made promises. Oh yeah, they made promises galore. Do you think any of them kept their promises? No. Nope. Oh, your lyrics are great. Oh, and the talented ones, I remember one of the talented ones. He was my last straw. I had let my guard down and really fucking believed, because he, fucking asshole, he was really talented, as in he had played out, right? Well, guess what? I wound up inspiring him. He hadn't played out in a club or bar or whatever in a long time, but being around me inspired him, and then he concentrated on his own stuff, and I went by the wayside, right? You think he didn't want to get in my pants? Oh yeah, believe me, I can tell he did. I wasn't attracted to him at all, but I believed him. He promised me, and in the end, he fucked me over, and I told him off. In person, no, I told him off on his fucking answering machine. And then I never, returned nothing. Like I said, I don't sleep with anyone I don't want to sleep with, period. Period, okay? And now I'm done settling. I don't care. Don't care. Only one of my collaborators, and he lied too. He made promises he never kept. They talk so big. Oh, he was in a band and he was talented, and we're gonna do this. I'm gonna play one of your songs. That's all I wanted, to hear one of my songs played out in a club, just to make it real, Never happened. Not for lack of trying, believe me, I tried. I did the ads, I did whatever, just nothing ever came of it. Because I don't do music, and I don't sing, and I don't, I needed to have a collaborator, and the collaborator man wanted to get in my fucking pants. Now, Doug Billings, he's the one who wrote Desert Rose for me. Oh, and up until I started believing Chad Kroeger was in love with me, Doug Billings was still my good friend after all these years, just like my musician ex is still my friend. The musician ex who I met shortly after I was with Doug Billings of D&B Tree and Landscaping. So if you happen to know him, you could tell him that I didn't wind up locked up in a mental hospital like my mom, despite the craziness of me believing Chad Kroeger was madly in love with me and all the things that went along with that. Which I did tell Doug Billings, by the way. And I met him in Massachusetts. I was born and raised here, I told you guys. And that's where I'm back. So, you know who he is? Tell him to contact me via this channel. Anyway, yeah, like that's what happened. But if he was taken, he doesn't have to. He would have, if he's like with a girl right now, he wouldn't have to worry. Because even if he wanted me, I don't fool around with people I know are taken. Period. Married or whatever. I don't do it. It's just my thing, like I just told you guys. He was the only one. He made promises he didn't keep too, but he also, I screwed him like immediately. He was good. He was cool. He was a musician. And remember after I left that foreign Pakistani or whatever, I don't know where he's from, but didn't believe in giving or receiving oral, and I gave my virginity to him. He had talked big. Not that he talked about that, but I just assumed. I just assumed anybody doing sex is doing everything. If you're going to do sex, you might as well do it all, right? Yeah, little did I know, huh? Little did I after the novelty of that wore off, the boring fucking, I went a little crazy. So I'd been, you know, with guys since then, and whatnot, and I wasn't a virgin anymore. But anyway, Doug Billings was cool, and he, what he did do for me is he, besides being good in bed, he was willing, and he wanted to, and a lot of men are not like that. Most men are not like that. I gave him a whole pile, like, of my philosophical essays, things I'd written, and he read them all. Not only did he read them all, he said to me, and he'd already gotten into my pants, so he didn't do it to try to get into my pants. He said to me, the problem you have with life, Laura, is that you are a fucking freak genius. Kind of nice, huh? Doesn't mean it was true, but he felt it was true. Anyway, he was really talented. Oh, by the way, he gave it all up for money. And when I talked to him just a few years ago, when I foolishly told him that Jack Cook was in love with me, but before that, I was telling, I had somehow got into contact with him again. I think I had his old address, and his mom finally gave it to him, and finally contacted me, and he called me, blah, blah, whatever. You don't use it, you lose it. I mean, that's what people say. Considering I've had no sex life forever, hopefully that's not true. Like I've told you, I haven't had actual sex. My sex life with Donald was a joke, okay? I haven't had actual sex, you know, intercourse, in over 5 years, no, almost 5 years. April 6th of this year, it'll be 5 years. And the other stuff, I fooled around with that 66-year-old man, you know, a couple of years ago. But as I've told you, I've never had the kind of sex, ever in my life, that I've seen in movies. Never have. With that ex-convict that I met when I was in my late 20s, he showed me, never experienced it before or since, what kind of pleasure the human body is capable of, okay? I'm not going to give you the details, but I'll just say that I've never experienced it before or since, okay? That doesn't mean I haven't experienced that. It means not to that intensity. I never dreamed it was possible, and I've never experienced it since then. But then I found out he had been in prison for 10 years. He was one of my one-night stands, but he was a sweetheart. He went longer than a one-night stand simply because he was just a total sweetheart. So, experienced that once in my life. What is possible? But as for the whole kid and caboodle, no. Not what I've, you know what I mean? That was just one thing he did for me to be nice. That's not a whole night of raw, X-rated passion, okay? And it wasn't. Because in my world, raw, X-rated passion that I see in porn has to involve a lot of trust. You know, a guy can get me there. It just hasn't happened yet. Where I'm in that, I'm sure, if I can imagine it, I can do it. But it involves trust, and you know, what was I gonna say? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Doug. So I read him my poem, Death Caresses, and he was like, this was over the phone, of course. I read him something else, and he's like, Laura, he's like, you gotta, first of all, he's like, you gotta get a website with just your poetry. He's like, that's fantastic. I can see that in a song. You gotta get your website and just do your poetry. You know, none of this talking about your life, whatever. Yeah, I know, whatever. And then you gotta get your big ass. He didn't say it. I'm saying, he's telling me, get your ass down to Hollywood and start reciting your poetry in the street, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I didn't do that, but I did go to coffee shops. I ate for the first time ever. So he said that to me, and I actually when I knew I was going to come visit my mom, I was thinking, Doug would be great. We've already been lovers. If providing he would even still be attracted to me, since I was, 70 pounds heavier than when he'd last seen me. He probably wouldn't be attracted to me, but I was thinking, he'd be good to end my celibacy with, and, have sex again after, my horrible sex life, or lack thereof, with Donald all those years. And, but right around this time, my mom went crazy again, which hadn't happened in over 10 years. My mom went crazy again, and I get the same time. So my mother went crazy again, and right around that time, all kinds of, and as you guys already know or don't know, if you know me, I started believing that Jack was in love with me. Well, when I was getting no proof that Jack Kruger was in love with me, including going to his Minnesota concert and whatever, it doesn't matter. Not like I stormed the stage, so obviously I'm not that crazy. I'm more inside my head crazy, but I've managed all these years to not get locked up in a mental hospital, so section has happened to my mother too many times. Because I could always say, well, he's just waiting for Shakur was waiting for the right time to come for me. So, remember, I was writing to his MySpace constantly. Amounted to over, 1,500 messages or something in the course of over a year. All that Hacker Enemy, viciously, gleefully deleted on me. Stupid fucking nosy bastard. Bitch, whatever. Anyway, and look at all my enemies, look what I did. I did what I fucking said I was going to do, didn't I? Because you were watching me back when I was over 60 pounds heavier and laughing and making fun of me. How could that fat bitch ever think a rock star gets models and actresses and whatever would want the likes of you? Well, whatever. I did it anyway. I'm going to do it more now that it's spring. I'm going to try to lose like another 10, 15 pounds. Since he hadn't come for me, Jack Kruger had not come for me, and I got no proof whatsoever, including when I went to Minnesota, he didn't go up on stage and announce his love for me or anything. Yeah. I was thinking that would happen. Yes, I admit I went crazy. Okay, I went crazy. Wish it hadn't happened, but it did. And at the very least, the end result is I got fucking skinny again. Pretty much just to show you guys, spite all my enemies, I knew I was going to come visit my mama. Didn't know she was going to wind up back in the same mental hospital. Just released her a month before. Didn't know she was going to go crazy while I was here. No, didn't predict that one. Thought she was all better. She'd just gotten out, right? Well, didn't know my life was going to turn to even more hell. 2009 summer of hell. I decided to give Jack Kruger one more chance. Remember, I was writing to MySpace all the time. Writing to Nickelback's MySpace all the time. Constantly, daily. Sure wish I had those messages. But I don't. They're gone forever. Most of them. Hacker Enemy viciously went into my MySpace, hacked into everything, and destroyed everything of mine. Would have got all my YouTube, ALICIACREATURE and ALICIA01, but YouTube was kind and gave them all back to me once I proved I'd been hacked into. But they felt that I had, and I wasn't lying. I had hundreds of videos, and then suddenly, they realized. Because Hacker Enemy didn't delete all my, Hacker Enemy just deleted my entire account, and YouTube gave them both back to me, both my accounts. I was very grateful for that. Spotlight Bar in Hollywood doesn't exist anymore. It's a gay bar, but not just gay people went there. and it was fun, and it was a place I ultimately wound up singing karaoke at and getting some praise from gay and non-gay men alike. Anyone in there, could be bi. So I really wouldn't want to be involved with any of them either. Don't really want to risk being involved with a bisexual guy, you don't know. Anyway, at that time I hadn't dared to even get up and sing whatever. That wound up happening after my 2009 problem when I got back and lived with Donald and his mama, went on welfare, and was drinking all the time with Donald and without Donald, and going into Hollywood by myself. But anyway, back in 2009, I had only recently discovered Spotlight Bride. I had known it, Spotlight Bride, for that long. And obviously didn't go there until Donald and I were broken up. So remember, Donald showed me backwards and left me for garbage, left me for possibly dead or worse at the bottom of that hill on November 4th, 2008. And then 4 months later, my mom went crazy, which hadn't happened to her in over 10 years. And I got the end of it. I mean, I wasn't in front of her, but she would call up on the phone and say crazy things, and she'd call at her time, which was 9 in the morning, or whatever. No, sometimes she'd call in the middle of the night. She might be calling at 6 in the morning here, which was 3 in the morning in LA, and waking up Donald and Hope and his mom, and so my life had totally gone to hell. I mean, totally gone to hell. I had my mom going on here, had them and Donald, and so kind of can cut me a little slack for believing that Jack Crook was in love with me. Particularly since it could have been possible. He could have seen me on my very popular EarthCam TV channel, Alicia's World, where, believe me, I could have had pretty much any guy I wanted back then. I said that to a woman in the shelter, a black woman, who thought it was very pretty, whatnot, and I was talking about, how I'd been with Donald and abused and whatnot, and when Donald got me from, I didn't tell her about stripping challenge, but I just said when he met me, I could have had any guy I wanted, and she's like, you can have any guy you want now, Laura, you're gorgeous, look at you. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, but back when I was 31, oh yeah, but anyway, so it could have been possible, right? And then my imagination got the better of me, but it could have been possible had I never done Alicia's World, EarthCam TV, where I was seen all over the world in other countries too, internet, anyone could get internet. People would write to me in foreign language, whatever. And I have a friend now, I believe is in France. He's been a friend for a long time out here on my YouTube channel. A friend fan, okay? It could have been possible, okay? So I had decided, that Doug was going to be the one that if he was willing, and if I wanted to have sex with him, I wanted to end my a little over a year of celibacy, and plus, I'd had a horrible sex life with Donald all those years. I wanted to have it with Doug. I knew he was going to bed. I'd been in bed with him more than once, Oh, speaking of Doug, we stayed friends and whatnot, and when he would hear me saying, when I would talk about how I had screwed this guy or that guy, and he's like, he didn't want me to do that because it's dangerous to have one night. So he's like, why don't you just call me for sex? I'll come over and help you out, Laura, if you need sex. I'm like, Doug, you're fucking busy. He gave up his band. He gave up the non-safety stuff. But obviously, if you're able to give that up for money, then it's not really your passion. As I've been prone to say, I need to write. Writing's my passion. I will live in a cardboard box. Not literally, but you know what I mean? More or less. If it was a choice between living in a cardboard box and keeping my writing gifts and writing and creativity and whatnot, and just losing it all, but he stopped with his band. Then he told me just a few years ago, I don't write anymore. I haven't written in years and years and years. And I said, nothing. He's like, no. See? He gave up insecurity and creativity and passion for safety and lots of money. Because, believe me, he did very well for himself, from what he told me, and I'm sure it's gotten better, or who knows. But in any case, he gave up his passion, which I can't do. There are people who are, obviously that couldn't have been, if he could give it up, and then he hadn't written, he told me, I haven't written anything in like 10 years, Laura. I stopped writing completely. I can't do that. Every facet of my being, when I just walk outside and look at the birds or look at whatever, everything is writing. Okay? Even, I write constantly. I brought a notebook with me when I went to visit my friend the other day. I was on the train, and I got a thought in my head, and I already shared it with you guys. It was, in a perfect world, I would have infinite love for my mother, infinite patience with my mother, okay? But in a perfect world, my weak-minded mother would have never, ever, ever caused me to be subjected to abusers and pedophiles when I was a little girl, okay? This world's far from perfect, and I'm doing the best that I can with what life gave to me, okay? For some people, just mere survival is an accomplishment. It's a success story, just if you don't wind up 10 feet under by your own fucking hand or by your own self-destructive tendencies that cause someone else to do it to you, okay? I wanted to have Doug be, I knew he was good. And even though I was 70 pounds heavier, you never know, he might still be attracted to me. He might not, but whatever. He might not have a girlfriend, and who knows. But if he was willing, he was going to be the one, and I was going to let Chad Kruger know, and I did. I said, I'm tired of this. I wrote to Nickelback's message. I can laugh at it now, because what are you going to do, What are you going to do? Hate yourself forever? I mean, I went crazy. It took a long time. I've always said, but obviously it's in me, and I have to be careful. That's all. I just have to be careful. Okay? I'm not the kind of crazy like my mom, where she can't control it and she loses her fucking mind and winds up locked up, quote-unquote, sectioned against her will into various mental hospitals periodically over my past 34 years. Okay? Hopefully it'll never happen to her again. Wrote to Chad Kroger about via his Nickelback MySpace page. Remember, one of my proofs that was why I wasn't ever blocked. People are supposed to be afraid of stalkers, and I have one click of the button, I'm blocked, and you can't send you 1,000 messages. Why was I never blocked? See, all this was proof in my head. Obviously, it was crazy, but whatever. At least this wound up being the end result of my craziness. And this is going to help me get the kind of fucking sex that I have always dreamed about, seen in porn movies, and imagined experiencing I never have experienced in my entire life, okay? Told Chad Kruger I was going to be at Spotlight Bar that night. All kinds of weird shit happened that night at Spotlight Bar. All cemented in this little lady's imagination, because remember, I was writing songs and poems when I was 9, 8, okay? I've always been imaginative, and I spent so much time alone, and, it was easy for me to concoct this Chad Kruger fantasy, and I had no idea about Kristen Stewart-Adams. I had no clue. Chad Kruger's not, it wasn't out on the internet. I would go to different things on the internet, and nothing was saying about Chad Kruger shacking up with Kristen Adams, some dancer who lives in Ohio or something. No, nothing was told me, so I didn't know. No, I didn't have cable. One of my enemies once said, well, you would have seen them, and if you had watched blah, blah, blah. I didn't have cable, sorry. We don't have cable with Donald's mom, So, and nothing really, apparently Chad Kruger was like a private person a lot of times. I don't know. I didn't read anything about that. Okay, I only knew that he had broken up with Marianne, who had been with for 7 years. And there was my other proof. She was a hairdresser. He'd spent 7 years and asked to marry and said, you'll make me the happiest man on the planet if you be my wife, to a hairdresser. Okay, albeit a stunningly fucking gorgeous hairdresser who I thought was way more beautiful than Kristen Stewart-Adams. So that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Okay? I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it, because I'm not like that. I'm not. I'm honest. Even if it, I thought Marianne Gork is just stunningly beautiful. And apparently she's a little older than Chad, just like I am. I think she's around my age or something. I think I read that somewhere. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. I didn't think Kristen Dewitt-Adams was as beautiful as Marian Gorick. That's how I feel. It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean everyone or even anybody would have that opinion, okay? But I didn't know anyway, and I had all these little things that was telling me, just reinforcing my quote-unquote delusional fantasy. That's what it was. Delusional fantasy, baby. I didn't have any proof. And I just, all these little things. But what happened at Spotlight Bar cemented it for me. I can look at it now. It's all out of my ALICIACREATURE, by the way. I should watch them all again, you know, because I describe it in detail exactly why I was able to fuel this delusional fantasy of mine. That does terrify me just because it shows how easily I can go crazy. I don't like that, of course, because I've always kept my craziness, you know, in check, like a lot of people. I'm restless, I'm anxious, I do wild things like fuck strangers or whatever, you know, I'm dark and I'm just out there, you know, but I always managed to keep my craziness in check, and with this Chet Kruger thing, but remember all the shit that had happened to me prior to this Chet Kruger thing, okay? I wanted to believe it. I read signs into everything. I went to Spotlight Bar, and the minute I walked in, and remember at Spotlight Bar I'd always kept a low profile. I'd never sung. No one had ever even talked to me in there, okay? I just liked to go and watch the gay guys get up there and belt out the beautiful. They were awesome. They were so good, better than a regular karaoke thing, because they were just really, really good a lot of them. I loved to watch. I never had the courage to get up there, but I liked to watch. And I hadn't been really going there for that long. Only, you know, I hadn't gone there that much. You know, so I went there. I remember nobody usually would talk to me. I went there and I walked in. And the minute I walked in, see all these little things, and any of you who believe in fate, I mean, this all was meant to happen apparently, because it's just too crazy. I had every intention in the world of coming here in that summer and seeing Doug and hopefully sleeping with Doug, you know, because then I knew he was good. I never was in a relationship, but like I said, it takes trust with me. I'm not going to be at the level that I see in porn movies and all that, unless I'm with a guy who brings that out of me. I mean, Doug was good. He used to do stuff to me when I was doing my phone sex calls, you know. He was one where he said, like, if you need sex, come over, and he'll come over, but very rarely could he come over, you know. And when I first met him, I liked him so much, but he was doing his band. He was after his dreams. He sparked my song, I'd Rather Be With You, because I met the musician not long after, and the musician could be with me all the time. He wasn't in a band, and he was awesome. He was the first love of my life. He was just, I'm still friends with him now, you know, but. And I wrote the song, I'd rather be with you, but you can't be with me, you're chasing your own dreams. You have your own life to lead, and I'm not strong enough to resist his touch, because he makes the pain fade away, and I hurt so much. That song I wrote. I wonder if that's out on my website. I don't even know what songs are out on my website. I do know some of them. And there's 111 poems, I couldn't possibly know all of those. Doug, so I wanted him to be the one to bring me back to my sexuality again, whatever, after being with abusive Donald for so many years. And Doug knew everything I'd been through in life, everything he knows about my mom. He knew about what Donald had done to me in November 4th, 2008, and he just said, because Donald's an asshole, that's what he said. He did, he was an asshole, why would he want, you know? He's a bastard, he's whatever. And then, of course, my musician ex was even, you know, he's just compassion and sympathy and empathy galore, you know. And that's why we're still friends. He's just a beautiful asshole, is like, well, he did it, he hates himself, Laura, you know, he did it, he hates himself, you know. Actually, Doug might have said he hated me. Yeah, no, I think Doug said that. That's just not even that much insight, but Doug said it. I said, how could he hate me that much to leave me like that, where I could have been dying, easily fucking dying. He didn't know. It's been 7 years, 8 months of my life with him. I don't care if you hate me. You can't leave me where I could be bleeding to death, Donald. What the fuck? You wouldn't even have your lovely, beloved Omar if it were not for me. This is not possible he did that, but he did, and I have to accept that he did. Doug said that. He's like, you know, he hates himself or whatever, and my musician ex said the other, said similar crap. At Spotlight Bar, I walked in, and a guy that looked, remember I told Nickelback I was going to be there that night. Oh, and I only found out later, by the way, it reinforced all my fantasies even more, that Nickelback was on a hiatus during the exact, I didn't know it that night. Okay? Otherwise, this never could have happened. I didn't know it. I didn't find out ahead of time if Nickelback was on tour. I found out later that they weren't. It just so happens that night in May of 2009, Nickelback was on hiatus for 3 weeks. Okay? That reinforced my fantasy even more. It's Hollywood. It's not Kentucky, you know, I mean, it's Hollywood where stars go to bars. Nickelback could have been at Spotlight Bar. Doesn't mean they were. But you see, I found out later, afterwards, after, once again, Chad Kruger did not show himself and declare his love for me. But I did find out it could have been possible they were at Spotlight Bar that night. They were on hiatus from touring for those particular 3 weeks. They could definitely have been there. It was May of 2009. It was the very beginning of May of 2009. And I found out that, no, they did not have any concerts. They were on hiatus. They were on break or whatever for that time. Of course, you know, Kristen later told me that that couldn't possibly, they wouldn't go to a bar like that, and she'd asked him about it, and he said he was with family, or it doesn't really matter. That was after the fact, after I'd already found out that I was just in delusional land and he'd been falling in love with somebody else. The whole time I was believing that he was in love with me, secretly, and had been for years, because he had seen me on Alicia's World in 2001. Guy that looked like, exactly like, because remember I had been following this band now, once I'd started believing, you know, I'd been, you know, fantasizing, watching his videos, watching Nickelback videos, watching Chad Kruger sing, and particularly the sex songs, and listening to him and whatnot, and getting very turned on, and so I knew what all the band members looked like. A guy that looked just like, I think his name's Danny. It was Danny. Is that his name? Doesn't really matter. The heavyset guy. I think he was a heavyset guy. The guy that looked just like him. I walk into Spotlight Bar. I remember people didn't say stuff to me then. I usually just kept a low profile. I'd go in, I'd sit down, I'd order a drink, I'd listen to the guys sing. The minute I walked in, the guy that looked just like Danny comes up to me. Who does this? So you like vampires, huh? How the hell would you know I like vampires? I don't tell anyone that. I don't know you for shit. I don't go around saying I like vampires. I wrote that to Nickelback. See, crazy, but it all could have been true. How the fuck would you know I like vampires? What? I swear to God, you guys, I didn't make this up. Guy that looked just like that guy walked up to me at Spotlight Bar and said that. So even later, I'm thinking, even if Nickelback wasn't there, they could have hired someone to go there. You know, this all reinforced the fact that Chad Kruger knew who I was. Not necessarily that he wants to be with me or loves me or, you know, but... So you like vampires, how the fuck would you know that? I don't talk to any of you guys in here. I come here and listen to the people go up, the men and women go up and sing. You would not know. You're not inside my fucking head. How would you ever know I like vampires? So he comes out usually, and then I was drunk too, but this really happened. He's like, "So you like vampires?" And then I started to talk to him because I was like, "Well, I only like some kind of, going on a tangent," and he walked away from me, smirked and walked away. Okay. Other stuff happened that night too. Weird stuff. For one thing, I wasn't thrown out. I was acting strange. I started crying at one point. I was wondering if the Nickelback was there spying on me. I didn't get thrown out. No, I'd gotten thrown out of this bar at one point in the past. And I wasn't allowed to come back for a month. Because I had gone there drunk. And too drunk, and I've been talking whatever, and I don't really cause a scene, but I was it doesn't matter. I had to leave. That was a bad night too. But it was like I was in a bubble. It was like somebody was protecting me. I was acting weird, not weird dancing on the tables, but I was crying. I mean, I should have been thrown out, and nobody touched me. That reinforced, somebody powerful, aka Jack Kruger and his buddies, his posse, whatever, are protecting me. Wasn't thrown out. And then, at the very end of the night, this guy that looked like a fucking movie star. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. He looked like a fucking movie star. He sits down next to me. And I'm looking at him, and he goes, "You don't know who I am?" I'm like, "No." "Who are you?" He's like, he looked like a movie star. He came in at the very last second, okay? I mean, the bar was going to close in 15 minutes. He hadn't been there. He came in, sits down next to me, why? Starts talking to me, why? Not to pick me up, not to buy me a drink, not because he thinks I'm going to get in my pants. He did that. "You don't know who I am?" Like, "No." And looked fucking like a movie star, and then he left. See all this weird shit that happened? Now, a normal, sane individual, a woman, man, whatever, if you're in the real world, in real reality, you're not going to take any of this as this Nickelback rock star guy went to Spotlight Bar, and even if he can't show himself because he's famous, he can hide behind the curtain and fuck with you without actually introducing himself or whatever. But I have been imaginative since I was, 8. I've been imaginative pretty much my whole life, okay? I don't remember anything from when I was a little girl, but I do remember we were in an apartment in Massachusetts when I was 4, and I do remember this. I remember seeing an alligator on the ceiling. I remember this. I'm sure it was a dream or whatever. For some reason I remember something like that. I don't remember anything else, but all kinds of weird shit happened at Spotlight Bar that night. Of course, I was pissed off yet again that he didn't show himself, but it reinforced in my head that he knew who I was. Part of me still believes he does, and doesn't, not because somebody let him know about all this YouTube crazy Laura, Alicia, whatever shit that he did know of me all these years. Part of me will always believe that. You're not going to change that about me. It's just weird shit happened at Spotlight Bar that night. And weird shit. Especially that guy at the very end, he looked like a fucking movie star. And he comes in, and the bar's going to close in 10-15 minutes, sits down next to me, and talking to me, just weird and cryptic things. He's like, "You don't know who I am?" I'm like, "No." He looked like a fucking movie star, though, I'm telling you. I have no idea who he was. He looked like a movie star. He left. But then again, people who think I'm crazy can think I was just someone slipped me a drug and I dreamed all this. I know that's not true, but it all happened. And at the time, you could not have convinced me of anything except that Jack Kruger knew who I was. All this fucking weird shit, just from Dark Horse sounding like my life to, and then, other songs that he's written over the years sounded like part of my life, but Dark Horse, really, even the fact Dark Horse, Dark Horse is the underdog. And I'm definitely the underdog, you know. All those songs sounded like my life, like he'd ripped pages from my life. And remember, I'd plastered my life all over my Earth Camp TV channel, and I'd plastered my life since then over various things out on YouTube and Yahoo Answers and MySpace and whatnot, you know. So it all could have been true. In the end, it wasn't true. It could have been true. It could have been. So in any case, I came to visit my mom. There's a point to this. I came to visit my mom, and I didn't call Doug. Didn't even call him. I'm here in Massachusetts. Hadn't seen Doug in a long time. Remember, we talked on the phone recently. We talked on the phone. I could have called him. I could have had sex with him. I could have had good sex with him, maybe. If he was still attracted to heavier Laura. You never know. Men were still attracted to me, and he knew me, and we'd been to bed, and more than once. And I didn't. I had told Chad Kruger, you give me some kind of sign or I'm going to end my... I said, I'm pure as a baby. I was with only Donald, and I never cheated on him, and I know I have no diseases. I'm like pure as a little baby. I'm right now, too. When I was in the shelter, I got my physical, complete physical at the hospital, and I got tested for everything imaginable. I'm pure. And I'm not going to fuck that up. There's no more no using condoms or all the risky stuff I did when I used to not care. I'm not going to fuck that up. I'm pure. Completely, totally clean. Miraculously, all those years of all the promiscuous behavior, I never got a single STD. I never got pregnant. I didn't use condoms, even with Donald, even with the musician, never used condoms. Never used them, never got pregnant. All guys just pulled out. They'd never used condoms, never got pregnant. I've never had an abortion. I've never been pregnant, never had an abortion, never had a single STD. Nothing. That's a miracle. I don't know why it's true. It should be 10 feet under right now. I tell anyone, you know. Tell anyone that because it's the truth. My mom knows it. My proof, I wasn't going to even call Doug. I didn't call him. So yeah, Doug Billings, Billings. He's around my age. DMB Tree and Landscaping. You know who he is? Tell him to contact me if he wants to. Even if he's seeing somebody, he can contact me because I would never tempt him. I am not going to sleep with anybody who's taken, period. It's just my thing. I didn't even contact him that summer. I couldn't trust myself, and I wanted to save myself for Chad Kruger. When Chad Kruger was going to come for me, I was going to make sure I had saved myself for Chad Kruger. He was going to be the one to end my celibacy. At that time, it was only a year-long celibacy. And now it's going to be 5-year celibacy. He was going to be the one. And I'd had all my proof at Spotlight Bar, and then a few days later I went to my mom's and didn't even contact Doug the entire time. Didn't want to risk being tempted by Doug. Not when Chad Kruger was oh. Too funny, huh? Too fucking funny. Don't use this up, otherwise I won't be able to shorten it for my